what our Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, along with the FBI, did this week is to put out an advisory making sure that individuals, when it comes to COVID-19 research, understand that we have some bad actors, China specifically, cyber actors, also some non-traditional actors such as journalists and other researchers that are targeting our intellectual property when it comes to that research, targeting individuals such as our own researchers when it comes to this. So we wanted to maintain some awareness on this so that so that our U.S. community-based researchers could understand what is going on. Our healthcare industry could understand what's going on. This is very similar to what we did back in a couple of months ago. Again, with DHS, we put out an alert with our UK counterparts where we said we may have malicious cyber actors, again, targeting international health organizations. And I think overall what we've seen, Neil, is as this pandemic has gone on, we see more targeting of our healthcare industry. And specifically when it comes to China, this isn't a surprise. We know that China, for a very long time, have been very bad actors in the cyberspace. So this isn't news to us, but we need to stay on it. We need to stay engaged with our other partners in the United States government and make sure that our private sector partners, the healthcare industry, and others are aware of this and have their shields up as well.
So I take it what you're saying, Secretary, that they are not only trying to hack and get that information, but take it for themselves, right? In other words, to use this and advance their own possible remedies, vaccines, anything that might deal with this and find a cure for this.
Yes, that's exactly right. I think what they're targeting, again, is not only the intellectual property that we're creating here, again, when we talk about COVID-19 research, but again, targeting our personnel to steal that information so that they can be at the cutting edge of that research. And we need to make sure that that's protected. And that's part of what we do from a cyber perspective at the Department of Homeland Security. And again, working with our partners at the FBI to investigate that and then prosecute when appropriate.
Now, in the meantime, the administration, you particularly, sir, have been involved in trying to restrict foreign immigration. Has this elevated to the point of targeting Chinese students who want to study here, be here, even those on 2-year plans where they're learning beyond just college material stuff? I mean, it seems to go a little wider than that.
It does. And again, from a department perspective, we're looking at, there's a number of visas that Chinese students, Chinese researchers, and others utilize. We're taking a look at how we address the fraud that we all know is in that system. And I think that takes on special importance here as we come out of this pandemic, as we look to restart the economy, making sure that we have jobs available to Americans to integrate them back into the workforce. So we're happy to bring the best and the brightest into the U.S., but we need to make sure that we reserve those jobs, at least here initially, so that we can have U.S. workers, again, get back in that workforce, regain their livelihood, and participate. So there are some student visas that we are taking a look at. We know that there's fraud, there's abuse in the program, and it's time that we deal with that.
What about Chinese students who just come to study here? Are you cracking down on that? Those already here for studies? Now, a lot of them stymied, of course, because of the virus and the fact that classes are virtual everywhere. But that you want to tamp this down come the fall?
Well, we're certainly taking a look at that, and there are a number of individuals both here and overseas looking to come in as well. And I think from a DHS perspective, making sure that we can ensure that they are coming here to the U.S. for the right reasons. They're here to study. They're not here to do other nefarious things. So we're doing that, again, in partnership with other law enforcement agencies inside the U.S. government. And I think that's important. I will also say the department took some other action earlier this week when we looked at Chinese journalists that are, again, coming here under a certain visa, was throughout the duration of their stay. So in many cases, that was years and years and years, utilizing that visa for other purposes, perhaps doing things that, again, were not correct. So what we did is we tapped down on that and said, you can stay here for 90 days at a time. You can come back. You can get that reassessed, but you're going to have to do an interview with DHS, and we're going to ask some hard questions. So I think this is part of an overall effort to make sure that, again, we're looking closely at these individuals, that we're not getting them blanket visas for years at a time. And again, that's to make sure that we protect the American people.